I have never done an intro before, so I'm not really sure how this works. And this is going to make you feel so good about yourself when you're done. You will change the way that you look at yourself so much. It's way harder to love parts of yourself, I feel like, than it is to love parts of other people. Start to feel, you know, like you're deserving of love. All the different parts of loving yourself are going to be little bits and pieces that help you realize that you're deserving of positive things in love. But nobody has to know, and so I'm going to give that to myself because I'm going to give that love back to myself. It makes your life so much brighter. Acknowledge that you're worthy of giving yourself healthy things. The more that you own your flaws, like the less they kind of have power over you. I matter. Like my mind, my soul, my body matters. You're worthy of your own opinions and your own thoughts and your own wants. What's up, guys? I am filming my intro a little later because I didn't like my other intro, so you will notice an outfit change here in a little bit. But today I'm going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, how to love yourself, and I actually sectioned it off by doing 10 ways to love yourself. And I added a little bit of extra ways that you could be self-sabotaging that I hope you're not doing. But if you are, it might be a good way to check yourself. So stay tuned, enjoy, and I really hope this helps. So I thought I would keep a little list on my phone, so that's why I'm looking at my phone. Number one is to go easy on yourself. I had a little bit of a problem with the way that I explained number one on the original take, so I thought I would try to hopefully explain it a little bit better. So number one is go easy on yourself. So many people put so much pressure on themselves to not fail or succeed in a specific way that they forget to take a breath and kind of just relax and enjoy the ride. It's so important to just be yourself and not put pressure on yourself, because the more you do put pressure on yourself, the less you're able to, first of all, enjoy what you're doing, and second of all, even be able to do anything that you intend to do. Perfection is not something that's necessarily achievable, so it's best to just do your best and to have fun in the process. And if you can't have fun in the process, at least just do your best, because that's really all you can do. The more that you're putting pressure on yourself, the less you're living your life. And in order to love yourself and create an atmosphere that you love, you have to be able to focus on just the simplicity of things and hope that the rest will kind of follow. You can't really micromanage every little detail, and putting pressure on yourself to make sure every little detail is in place is just going to stop you from living your life and stop you from loving your life and loving yourself. Is to encourage yourself. There is no person in the world that wants your goals as badly as you do. So be your biggest supporter and be your biggest cheerleader. And you know, if you're getting ready to do something, take the time out of the thing that you're doing and, you know, really like each little thing that you do that you're proud of, like give yourself a pat on your back. That's okay to do. That's something that, I mean, it's so little, but you don't realize that you actually do feel it. And especially if you're someone who hasn't really had a whole lot of encouragement in your life, you know, you are a person, you are able to give that to yourself. So give that back to yourself. Even if you're doing something as simple as just making yourself a sandwich for lunch, like, you know, just be like, you make that sandwich, girl. Like, these ingredients are going to be freaking awesome, and this is going to make you feel so good about yourself when you're done. Or when you're picking out clothes, you know, like when you're in the dressing room trying stuff on, be like, damn, like, you know, this dress looks fantastic on you, like you should totally wear this. You know, say things that you wish other people would say to you, to yourself. You can totally do that. You can totally Be that person that gives that to yourself, because you are a person and you are a voice. Don't discount yourself. I guess that kind of goes along, that's maybe like an extra little thing, but don't discount yourself. Don't think so little of yourself that you think that, you know, you encouraging yourself can't count. That is probably the biggest voice that counts more than anyone else's, because it's your own, and you're the one that, like I said, knows your own goals, your own loves, your own passions. So really encourage yourself. I'm gonna go get my water, actually. I had to wait for it to focus. Number 3 is acknowledging that you're only human and you're allowed to make mistakes. The way that we learn things is through mistakes. So sitting there and not doing something, of course you're not going to make the mistake, but you're also not going to be able to learn how to better that thing. I mean, there's literally nobody who understands that more than me, because I was a person who would sit back and watch and watch and watch and never do, because I was so fearful of messing up, even with this video, for example. And like, you have to just understand that practice is always going to make perfect. You're not going to be the best of the best of the best of the best the first time around. There is such a thing as having natural talent, but that only goes so far. There are so many people in the world who are working for that thing. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. So it's perfectly okay to realize, I made a mistake here, you know, it's okay, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna do better next time. I'm gonna tweak this, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna fix this, and I'm gonna do better next time. And then the next time might not even be the best time either. You tweak something from that. You can only see what you can tweak when you do it. The next thing I have for ways to love yourself is to compliment yourself. And this is something that I'm really bad at. I truly have been a person who has hated on myself all my life. So I try to, like, when I notice little things about myself that I like, I try to like pay homage to it, because up until recently I've just been absolutely disgusted by myself. I basically have hated myself my whole life. So I have not ever done this. Maybe I'll start. I'll say that I will start trying to do this. Is give yourself 3 compliments a day. And it can be like the littlest things. It can be something about the way that you do something. It can be something about, you know, what you like about your hair. It can be something about your outfit. It can be something about your makeup. It can be something about the fact that you got to sleep on time. But just compliment yourself 3 times a day. And I know, it sounds like the stupidest, most cheesy thing in the world, but I guarantee you, like, even from just like giving myself little nonchalant compliments here and there, like, you will change the way that you look at yourself so much. I think I kind of grew up feeling like, you know, if I paid myself a compliment, then I would be like so full of myself or whatever, but that's not true. I know that I'm not the best person in the world, but I can be the best me. And I can also love parts of myself, and that's perfectly okay. And you can love parts of yourself. I very much encourage you to love parts of yourself. I'm sure I would love parts of yourself more than I love parts of myself. It's way harder to love parts of yourself, I feel like, than it is to love parts of other people, because you kind of know, like, the internal parts, like the internal struggle within yourself. Some people are freaking awesome at it, and like, I look up to those people because it has been a struggle for me. So compliment yourself, and you will really start to feel, you know, like you're deserving of love, like you're deserving of the love that you can give yourself, of the love that other people can give to you, and just of positive things in general. That's the other thing, is that all the different parts of loving yourself are going to be little bits and pieces that help you realize that you're deserving of positive things in love. This next one, focus. Okay, come on, focus. There we go. This next one is something that is very near and dear to my heart, something that I've been practicing for years. I've seen such results from it. And so I can't stress this enough, and it's so amazing for you, is to, anytime you have just a smidgen of a couple seconds to sit with yourself, just seriously, without judgment, without a second thought, sit with yourself and say, what do I need? What does my soul truly need right now in this moment? And give it to yourself. It is going to be hard at first, especially if you've ignored that for a really long time, but you have to, especially when you're first doing it, seriously listen into yourself. And, you know, block out all distractions, block out all the judgments, anything that, you know, is telling you you don't deserve it, anything that is telling you that the answer that you're about to give yourself is weird, embarrassing, shitty, none of that. It's not that at all, because it's what you truly need. So sit with yourself and seriously think, what do I truly need? And give it to yourself. If it's water, give it to yourself. If it's relaxation, figure out what type of relaxation you want and give it to yourself. For me, something that is really relaxing, and also something that I've been kind of embarrassed about for a while, is I love to lie down and watch a good Netflix show or a good movie. And especially when I'm like dead, that is amazing to me. You know, find your version of that. I would be embarrassed to tell anyone in real life what this thing actually is, but nobody has to know. And unless I tell them, because I just told you, but nobody has to know. And so I'm gonna give that to myself, because I'm going to give that love back to myself. If it's freaking flowers, go buy yourself a damn bouquet, okay? Like, that's not embarrassing, that is fucking amazing. And if I ever felt like I wanted to buy myself some flowers, I would do it in a heartbeat. So just ask yourself what you truly need. If it's a bath with a bath bomb, give that to yourself. If it's some candles, light some candles. If it's a really good home cooked meal, make it. Or if you don't know how, then go to your mom's house and have her make it. But honestly, the best thing to do, especially like if you don't have anyone in your life, is to be able to give that to yourself. Just listen to yourself. Just like, and you know, if it's that you just need love, then figure out what form of love you need. Like, if you had a significant other in your life, what would you want them to give to you, and give that to yourself. If you feel like you just need to take care of your hair, then do that. I'm trying to think of as many examples as I possibly can, but I'm kind of running out, and I know there's 1,000. If you feel like you really want to do your freaking laundry, and that's like clouding your mind, and you can't think of anything else in the world, and you've just been putting off your laundry, then figure out what you feel like you need to do in order to feel better about doing your laundry. I know that's kind of like an extra step, but that can remove that little block so that you can actually get your laundry done. This is like really anytime, but especially when you're in a moment where, you know, you're feeling down, or you're feeling uninspired, or you're feeling sad, sick is a big one, you know, mad, anything like that. But also in general, like even when you're feeling all of the positive emotions and not just the crappy one. Another thing that I've been kind of working on for a couple of years, and again, this is, a lot of these things are like practice makes perfect kind of thing. Like, you're not gonna get it right away, and trust me, they're freaking hard in the beginning. As you do them, they get a lot easier, and they kind of become second nature. So this is gonna kind of come with a story time, I think. So this next one is really hard, and I get it. But try to find the positives in every situation. If you have a negative outlook on life, you're going to emotionally get drained. You're going to feel crappy about yourself. So when I first did this, I was like, I'm so resistant to new things. Like, I'm the first person to say, okay, yeah, that sounds great, but blah, 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 blah. So when I first did this, I heard the idea and I thought it was crappy, but it just wouldn't leave my mind. And so I was driving and I was behind a red light. I was like just trying to argue basically, and I was like, how in the world am I going to find positives in everything? There's not positives behind sitting in a red light. And you know what? I don't remember what positive I found, but I found one. And I remember just like standing there like laughing at myself, like, okay, like thank you universe, because that just proved me completely wrong. And you know, since then, you know, it's been really hard to find certain positives in certain situations, but they're always there. And if you really like open yourself up to allowing yourself to see even just one, then it kind of becomes like a habit. It becomes the most helpful when you're in a negative situation. Because when you have like a really negative situation and then you're like, okay, like this is really crummy, this is really crappy, but like I have this going on for me and this is going on, and you know what, I wouldn't really appreciate it if it wasn't for blank. And like it seriously makes your life so much brighter. And again, it sounds cheesy. Certain things are cheesy for a reason. And you know, I kind of took it to an extreme for a while. I would like literally block out any of the negatives. That's not necessarily a great thing. It did get me to train a lot more, train my brain into thinking that way a lot more, but there are still going to be negatives. That's not the goal here. The goal is, okay, yes, maybe there is a negative. Maybe this is red light. Maybe this does stink. But there's going to be a positive in there somewhere. Think about it this way. If there is one situation, there are going to be a million negative things and there are going to be a million positive things about it. You just gotta find one positive thing that resonates. And if you find 5, then that's fucking awesome. I can't do that sometimes. So give yourself a pat on the back from me if you can do that. The next one is also super cool. So it's just to take care of yourself. Feed yourself well, good hygiene, go to sleep at a decent hour if you know you have to be up at a certain time, or go to sleep at a decent hour in general. Just acknowledge that you appreciate your body enough that you're going to give it what it needs. Eating healthy is a big one, and this is hard for me to say because I've never really liked junk food that much, but trust me, like there is a huge difference between like, I do eat junk food every once in a while, feeling junk food in your body and feeling healthy food in your body. When you eat junk food, you feel very lethargic, and it kind of makes you feel like you can't really conquer anything, so you're kind of just like low energy. When you have good foods in your body, and I'm not just talking about lettuce and carrots, but just good foods in general, like you feel like you can fucking conquer the world, man. Like you're on top of the world. And so yeah, just acknowledge that you're worthy of giving yourself healthy things. This is one that's really hard for me because I hate myself. Like I said, I'm working on it, but the next one is own your flaws. And like, okay, I do love myself and there are certain parts that I love about myself, but like my flaws are obviously the things that I don't like about myself. So yeah, I hate those things about myself. So it's kind of hard to just be like, yes, I'm blah blah blah. And I do think I'm gonna do a video about all my insecurities, but I'm gonna not just spout them out right now so that I can have room to also do that video. But just, I feel like the more that you own your flaws, like the less they kind of have power over you and the less you kind of feel inside of yourself because of them. And the other thing that I do believe, but I haven't really experienced yet, is that, you know, your flaws are what makes you you, and a lot of times your flaws are actually the cool part about you. You know, the perfect part of you is who you want to give off to the world, and might be kind of similar to your neighbor or the person that you look up to on Instagram, for example. But your flaws are the part of you that makes you you. So owning up to them is really just saying, hey, I love you for you. You can tell by the way I'm saying this that I have not extremely let this be my truth, but I'm working on it, and I do feel like this is a way of loving yourself. So being honest with yourself, again, kind of just goes along with what I was saying earlier in a couple of these other ones. But a really good example, something I've kind of experienced myself, is when you're with people who are like, I want to go out and party, and you're kind of sitting there like, I don't want to party, but I'll go anyways because all my friends are going. Speaking from example, be honest with yourself enough to say like, hey, I don't want to party, because then when you're honest with yourself in your own confined space, it makes it a little bit easier to say, hey, to them, hey, I appreciate the invite, but today I'm not feeling it. And just kind of giving yourself the floor, not discounting your opinion, and saying, I matter. Like, my mind, my soul, my body matters. And I am not feeling social right now, and I don't want to go out and party. And that's okay. You've given yourself a voice, and that's like the most important thing ever. And it's a really good way to get that to resonate back into your mind, like, I do love myself, and kind of feel like you're worthy of your own opinions and your own thoughts and your own wants. And that ultimately is the goal in loving yourself, is allowing your body and your mind to feel that you're loved, and so you deserve certain things that everybody ultimately deserves. I'm going to talk about ways to self-sabotage. Way to self-sabotage is to set expectations. I have to be this, and I have to be this, and I have to be this, and I have to be this. You really don't have any time to be your true self when you're doing that, when you're setting expectations. And it's also really hard to reach certain goals when you are thinking in your mind that it's supposed to look a certain way, because a lot of times when you actually do certain things, it looks nothing like the way that you pictured it in your mind, and it's way fucking cooler. So a really good way to self-sabotage is to set expectations. Another good way to self-sabotage is to set limits, not to be confused with goals. Goals are something that you work really hard to get to, and then you achieve the goal and you give yourself a pat on the back, and then you set another goal and you keep going. Limits are just that, limits. And you are, I can only go so far, and then I'm not gonna be better than that kind of thing. When I get to this point, that's fine. You're not going to be the best you that you could possibly be if you're I want to say scrounging, but I don't think that's a word. If you're dampening yourself, dampening your soul, dampening your light, you're not going to be as you can be. This one is a huge one, and this is one I think a lot of people do, and I know usually where it's coming from, so don't hate on yourself too bad if you're doing it. Don't say negative things about yourself. Saying negative things about yourself are definitely going to self-sabotage you. For example, I suck, or I'm a loser. What happens there is, even if you know, okay, I'm saying I suck, I don't actually suck. But in this moment, I suck because of this. And that was a really crappy thing of me to do. Your subconscious mind only picks up I suck, and so it's going to say that over and over again. So something that you can fix, use to fix, is, okay, I messed up in this moment. This was an asshole thing to do. So it's okay to do better next time. It kind of goes along with one of the loving yourself things is, don't sit there and say I'm a loser, because you're going to feel that, and you're going to feel like, you know, you really are a loser. If you try saying I'm a loser, like, and well, actually please don't, but if you actually did, and you like sit there and think about like how you actually feel in that moment, you feel really crummy about yourself. So what I've started to do is just kind of reframe that and say, I shouldn't have done that. Or that was an asshole move. Okay, great, I'm not an asshole. What I did was an asshole move. I can learn from that. Here's another little challenge for y'all. And it kind of goes along with the first challenge. Another way to self-sabotage is by second guessing yourself. An example is me not filming this video for a really long time because I felt like it wasn't going to be good enough. And that's a really good way to like not get things done and to go your entire life without like feeling like you did something that you really wanted to do. So the challenge is, anytime you feel like you're going to second guess yourself about something, replace it with a compliment. And maybe this could be a better challenge than give yourself 3 compliments, because I know it can be really hard to just be like, oh, you know, I'm this, and just rattle off compliments. So just instead of second guessing yourself in your head, replace it with a compliment and come up with something that you really like about yourself. The last one, and I'm trying to hurry, is, there's not enough time for how many I have, but a really awful way to self-sabotage, try to make this quick, is to compare yourself to others. I've said this before in social media, but people put their best selves on, for example, Instagram, and they're not going to put a whole lot of their flaws. I mean, some people are cool and they do, but if you sit there and say like, you know, I am not as good as this person because I don't have all these cool clothes, I don't know how to take pictures like her, blah blah blah, you're going to feel like shit about yourself. So just don't compare. And I probably could do a whole video on that, but my time's up, so I'm gonna go. Those are my 10 ways to love yourself and 5 ways to self-sabotage. Between when I finished that video and now, my memory was up, so I have had a little bit of time in between then and now, and I've actually already thought of a couple of other ways to love yourself, so maybe another video. But for now, that is the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please feel free to leave criticism, constructive criticism, thoughts, things that helped you, things that you're going to take with you, things that you love. If you absolutely hate it, please tell me too. I'm definitely learning. I am excited to go on this journey with you. Very scared, but also excited. It's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to start a YouTube video or YouTube channel since I was in 8th grade. So yeah, like I said, very scary, but I'm also very excited, and I hope you liked it. You wanna make your way in this crazy world. Step up, girl, you got what it